Hi, I'm Pete Forsyth. I'm the project lead for a project called Communicate OER, and I've been working to start WikiProject Open on the English language version of Wikipedia. Today is October 15th, 2013, and we've had a planning meeting, and we've had some online collaboration around this. And so today I would like to show you a little bit of what we have accomplished with WikiProject Open. This video is meant primarily for people who are new to the concept of a wiki project, but it will also serve as useful orientation to anyone who is pretty experienced with wiki projects and wants to catch up with where we are. So what you see on the screen right now is the front page of WikiProject Open. If you've been looking at this recently, you'll notice that it's substantially changed from the last time, and we're going to get into why in just a moment. And you'll see that there are several tabs across the top. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk a little bit about each one of the tabs and talk about how you might get involved if you'd like to help us move forward with this. So just as a basic introduction, the general idea of WikiProject Open, like any wiki project, is to support various Wikipedia contributors who want to work together to improve a topic area. And in this case, the topic is openness. Those of us starting the project come from a background where we're interested in open educational resources, open access publishing, open education, which is actually a longer lived term than either of those others, but very closely related. And we also have interest in open source software and free software, open government, open access, open science. So it's the concept of openness is something that touches on many different disciplines. And we hope to create a space that will that'll be useful for Wikipedians interested in any number of those various areas. But our primary starting point is in education and open access publishing. So on the front page, what we want to have is a very clear introduction to that concept, to everything I just basically described to you. And if you looked at the page just a few days ago, you would have seen basically this. This would have been just below those tabs at the top. This section here is basically what existed before today. Before yesterday. So this is a basic text intro. Yesterday, Lane Raspberry, who's working with us, and also Stu Lawson, who is a program chair for Wikimania in 2014, who's also working with us, have both made some changes, and they described the changes they made on the project's talk page. So the talk page for a wiki project is usually the best place to go when you're trying to get a sense of what's actively going on, who's involved, what they're doing. And with this tab layout that we have, we've actually duplicated the talk tab that's up at the top. We've also put it as its own tab down in the content of the page as well. So both of these links take you to the same place. So we'll click on this one. We have parked some information at the top of the talk page that's more generally about communication for the project. So it describes what this talk page is for, but it also will give you some pointers to an email list, the open access email list, which is also just more generally for the use of WikiProject Open. And also talks about the planning meetings that we're having, where we can meet online and have verbal discussions. And also it lists a couple of places on IRC, the IRC text chat network, which we haven't been using actively yet, but we hope will be useful resources going forward. Anyhow, all of that's a little bit of a tangent. What I wanted to do was show you the discussion that we've had. So there's kind of a longer discussion here where people are introducing themselves and giving some sort of general thoughts about how they think WikiProject Open should move forward. In particular, we have a question of how to coexist most beneficially with WikiProject Open Access, which has been around for some time. So I'm not going to get into the details of that right now, but that discussion is there, and you may want to go and look at it yourself. And then Lane, who goes by the username Blue Raspberry, left this comment here on the talk page describing what he had changed on the front page, and I responded to him. And in particular, I'm going to go back to the front page. In particular, he's talked about, well, the significant changes that he's made are he put this very concise introduction to the project. Actually, I'm using a small screen for the sake of doing a screencast, and I see it's actually done something strange to the logo. I'm going to just widen my screen for a moment so you can see what that's supposed to look like. That's maybe something that we should just make a graphic logo so that it doesn't wrap like that. And then he's put this news feed, which gives some information about things that are going on in the open access world. So this is some sort of infrastructure that WikiProject Open Access has built that may be useful for us, but we also may want to sort of expand its scope a little bit so that it's about more than just open access publishing, but also about open educational resources and potentially other things open as well. And then if you scroll down, you'll see these the open access file of the day. So this is something that Lane, so I don't think I introduced Lane before. His background that's most relevant to WikiProject Open is that he was the founder. He was the first person to start WikiProject Open Access. This was, I think, well over a year ago, and has been a consistent contributor there. He's also been a Wikipedian in residence for the U.S.-based nonprofit Consumer Reports for some time, and most of his work around Wikipedia in that position and in general has to do with improving medical information on Wikipedia. Anyway, so one of the things that WikiProject Open Access has established is this concept of the file of the day. So if you're interested in open access and you come to WikiProject Open Access, or now WikiProject Open, you will see a new file that is free for republication. It's generally a high-quality audio file or a photograph or a video, and every day there's a new one that rotates through. And I believe there are ways to display this on various websites. So this is a really nice idea that they've had and have kept up. And personally, I really like the idea of including this in WikiProject Open as well. So anyway, in the talk page discussion, Lane just explains that background. And I responded with that we might want to think about sort of what's at the top and how clearly we're presenting what is WikiProject Open. I think that these additions are excellent, but I do think that it might be worthwhile to have a somewhat more thorough text intro, something along these lines right up at the top so that people know where they are and what they're doing. But this is something that we can sort out, and we will sort out. And then the next talk page item, well, there's a question about creating a category for the pages of WikiProject Open. I think that's sort of a technical detail which I'm going to skip for the moment. But it does bring up this question of, is WikiProject Open the name that we want to stick with in the long run? I think that we have some good consensus around using that name, but it's also only been proposed recently, so we probably want to hold off on really being confident that that's the name we're going to use in the long run until people have had a chance to weigh in. And then finally, we have this brief discussion about navigation boxes. So Stuart Lawson has pointed out another thing that he added to the front page, which are these navigation templates. And these are boxes. The idea is that they can be placed at the bottom of relevant Wikipedia articles, and they can help Wikipedia readers to navigate around the encyclopedia and find related concepts. So there are two. These have both been listed on the WikiProject Open Access site or page for some time. They cover a similar collection of articles about open. One is free and open movements, and the other is the concept of openness. And so there's slightly different takes on a similar collection of topics and Wikipedia articles. So I think this is an excellent thing for WikiProject Open members to discuss. What would be the most useful navigation template, or would it make more sense to have multiple templates? For instance, it might make sense to have slightly different boxes at the bottom of articles about like organizations that produce open educational resources versus open access journals that kind of focus on the content that's most relevant to those. So it might make sense to have 2 or more navigation boxes that go on different kinds of articles. Moving along, I would like to jump over to the WikiProject Planning. Actually, no. I want to jump all the way to the right to the Join the Team tab. So if you would like to be a part of the development of WikiProject Open or work within it and connect with other people interested in open concepts and improving those articles on Wikipedia, the first thing you should do is click on Join the Team and add your name. And you're more than welcome to add a bit of a description here. We don't really have any descriptions so far, but here I want to pull up a similar page. Let's see. I think I'm remembering the name a little bit wrong. Okay, there we go. So this is a similar page where we have people giving a sentence or two of introduction of what their background is and why they're interested in being part of the project. So I think this is a nice model, and if you want to be the first to add a description, please feel free. And if not, I might encourage people who've already put their names to start adding a little bit of an introduction there, because it can make it nice for others joining the project to get a feel for who's there with them. Anyhow, let's see. I need to move this a bit, okay, to get to my back button. And so I am going to now go to the WikiProject Planning tab. So as you may have gathered, we are trying to be very careful about how we create this wiki project and make it something that's really genuinely useful, both for experienced Wikipedians and also for people who are new to Wikipedia but who have significant knowledge about open educational resources or open access publishing, or just an interest in those topics and want to contribute in those areas as they're learning to edit Wikipedia. So in planning sort of the structure of these pages and whether we're going to have regular meetings or a newsletter or any number of different things that wiki projects tend to have, we've dedicated this page to that. So there's always the talk page for talking through some of the detailed ideas, but here we're trying to keep track of some of the general concepts that we want to cover, and also using this to coordinate some online meetings that we're having, at least in the early stages, so that we can talk to each other and develop some ideas. So if you're interested in being in one of these meetings, please check out this page. And we have one coming up on Thursday, which will be actually not so much morning. I think this is I have the text here is the times are accurate, but the text of morning and afternoon is not quite accurate. This is it's afternoon in the Americas and evening in Europe and Africa. So you can click this link to find the exact time in a number of different cities. And then if you scroll down, you'll find that we've been keeping track of some specific things that we want to do. So this beige box has some very specific steps that we're in the process of taking. And then further down in the agenda sections, there's this agenda is specifically for the first call, but some of these are general topics that we're still thinking through and talking through. And then below that, there's just some individual ideas that we want to cover. A couple of specific things I want to point out are that I've listed. Let's see, where did I put them? Okay, so I think these, oh, okay, here we go, topics for discussion. So one question is just the visual layout. We want to be sure that we create something that's visually appealing. And I've linked to a blog post here that our friend Eugene Eric Kim wrote recently. I'll just click through to that briefly. I think this is a really an excellent brief sort of exploration of the idea of creating what it takes to create a friendly space and why that might be a good idea. He talks through, and it's really, this blog post is not about Wikipedia. This is about about other kinds of online spaces. But he makes the point that that doing something that looks nice and also that has some familiarity can be very beneficial. So he makes several points in here. One of them is that just doing stuff that's kind of silly can be fun. So in this case, he and his colleagues just took funny photos of each other and put that up when they were having conference calls, just to kind of lighten the mood. So I like that idea. He also talked about theming the online tools, and in this case, he was building something for a team of people that he works closely with, and they often work together in person. So this is the kitchen that they often work in, and he pointed out that they have this nice, the orange wall is sort of a familiar work environment for them. And so when he designed the online space, he gave it an orange background, and he took a photo that was reminiscent of that kitchen. And he found that that was really effective in making that team feel at home. So I wonder if we can do things that kind of capture this concept with WikiProject Open. And then, let's see, I think he made one other point in here. Oh, and yes, of course, just welcoming people. So this is something I don't think that we've done a great job of to date, but I think I would like to recommit to, is when people join, when people jump on the Join the Team tab, we should make a point of immediately welcoming them. And I'm happy to do that, but hopefully some other project members will join in on that as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back again. And my apologies for my screencasting software. It makes me need to kind of move there's no easy way for me to click the back button without moving it around. The other point I wanted to make, sort of general in terms of a general topic. Oh, and actually, before I get to that, in the first planning call, we actually looked at a couple of specific wiki projects. There's WikiProject Military History and WikiProject Feminism that are both very long-standing wiki projects and have created very visually appealing wiki project spaces. So I think we can look to these for inspiration. I'm not going to click through to them, but please explore them yourself if you're interested in this subject. Another thing I really want to emphasize is that there's a kind of program called a collaboration of the week. It's a very simple concept. It basically just means identifying one or maybe several articles in a week that that the project is going to work on. So of course, everyone editing Wikipedia has their own idea of what they want to work on. You might be logging in with the idea that you're going to work on, the article called Open Access or something like that. Like there might be a project that you have, and maybe you're working on it piece by piece over a period of weeks. But sometimes you log in and you just kind of want to work on what other people are working on, and have that experience of building something more quickly as you can when several people are researching different aspects of it and providing feedback in a pretty active way. So a collaboration of the week can basically focus everyone's attention, or a little bit of everyone's attention, on one or two articles every week. And you can really move things forward and get a sense of who you're working with. So the collaboration of the week concept has actually been the subject of academic study, which found that it's very effective at helping people get an idea of what they can do on Wikipedia and build a sense of team and be more productive. So I've had both practical experience with it and read these studies that basically find that that's not a fluke, that that's what tends to happen. So I think it would be a really good idea if we could start a collaboration of the week program here. Anyway, I want to go back up and just cover the last few tabs. So I've done the outermost tabs, and what we have left are open access, open educational resources, and for new Wikipedians. So I'm going to just briefly cover the final 3 tabs, the ones in the middle. Open access is, of course, just a link to WikiProject Open Access. So if your interest is specifically in open access, you'll probably find people here who are more who more specifically share your interest. We have discussed possibly combining the talk tabs of the different wiki projects so that the discussion can all take place in the same place. We may or may not do that. I think we probably need to discuss it a little bit more before moving forward with that. But you will find that that WikiProject Open Access has some pages that are kind of more specific to open access. And then let's see. The very center here has a tab for open educational resources. This is there's very little here so far, but it links to Communicate OER, which is essentially a project. It's like a wiki project, but it's something that was only ever designed to last for about 1.5 years. It's a project that's funded by a grant. So this is really the reason that we're starting WikiProject Open, is that period is coming to a close. So this page will probably evolve to have more specific tips on editing articles around open educational resources. We might move the contents of the Communicate OER pages here. That's all kind of yet to be figured out, but for now this is a place to kind of think and work on that. And then finally, there is the For New Wikipedians tab. So this is something that you won't see, I think, at most wiki projects, but with Communicate OER, and I think also with WikiProject Open Access, there's been a real desire to make Wikipedia more accessible to new contributors. And so we want to create a page that that helps people get acclimated if they're not very experienced with Wikipedia. So it has a link to our course on writing Wikipedia articles, and this is another page that I expect we will be fleshing out in the future. Anyway, that's your overview for WikiProject Open. I hope that you will join us as the project gets more up and running. And as I said, the best way to do that is to join the team and to add your ideas to the talk page, and also to watch the WikiProject Planning tab. Finally, the shortcut to get to WikiProject Open anytime you're on Wikipedia is just type in WP:/open in all caps, and that will take you to our main page. So I hope to see you on one of our planning calls or on the wiki. Thanks again. Once again, my name is Pete Forsyth, and if you want to reach out to me directly, you can find me at user Pete Forsyth. You can leave a note on my talk page, or you can find a link to email me on this page. Thank you. We'll see you online.